Okay, last day we were all together. We talked about solving problems. We're working with credit cards and talking about the importance of making sure that your payments get made on the credit cards and that they get paid off in due time. Today you're just going to look at different examples based on credit cards and solving problems involving credit. So now it doesn't necessarily mean credit cards. It just means having to pay back loans, whether it's small loans or credit card loans. Forms of credit include bank loans, lines of credit, credit cards, payday loans, and dealership or in-store financing. Many factors determine which credit option is best, such as interest charge, the total payment, the amount of each payment, and the length of time it takes to pay off the loan. All credit cards have a credit limit, which is the maximum amount you can borrow. Your credit limit will be based on your credit history. Cash advances on credit cards have no period in which no interest is charged, and sometimes have a greater interest rate than purchases. A line of credit has a lower interest rate than most loans and credit cards. Because of this, a line of credit can be useful for consolidating debt. As with a credit card, a line of credit allows for flexibility in how the loan is paid back, as long as the minimum payment is made. The minimum payment is often based on the accumulated interest of each month. Now, basically what that's saying is, if you have multiple loans out there, let's say, for example, somebody has a loan for a car, somebody has a loan for a house, somebody has credit card debt. One of the things that is suggested is that you consolidate all your debt into one. All right, now it gives you a bigger amount to pay back. Obviously, you're going to pay it back anyways, but then it's easier to manage it. All right, so a line of credit is probably the least amount of interest rate that you're going to get from a bank. So if you put it all into a line of credit, now you've taken care of the 18% interest. You probably knocked it down to 8% interest. So basically what your line of credit does is you pay out your credit card and then you pay off your line of credit at the bank. So you can put your mortgage, your loan for your vehicle, your credit card, you put it all, or your student loans, right? You put it all into the line of credit. Gives you a much cheaper rate in terms of interest. Plus, it's only one payment that's coming out of your account then. You're not having multiple payments at different times of the year. All right? The best thing to do is to set it up on your paydays for those payments to come out. Okay? So there are different ways in which we do this, but let's just take a look at two possible options that are on the page here. Corey's buying furniture worth $2,348 on store credit. He can make, or on credit, period. He can make monthly payments of $125 and has two credit options. Which one should he choose? Okay, so again, one of the things, especially the electronics and furniture stores, they will give you multiple in-store options for financing. Lots of times you're going to hear, don't pay anything for 6 months. 0% down for a year. Those are the types of things that they use to give you options if you don't have that money up front to pay it off at a later date. However, make sure at that later date you have that money ready to be spent. Okay? Because if you don't, their interest rates are crazy. All right? So inline buying furniture, buying audio and video equipment, lots of those are given in those circumstances. So this guy's got a $2,348 is what he has to pay. So the furniture store credit card, again, be wary of this furniture store credit card. You don't want to have multiple credit cards out there, which is offering a $50 rebate off the purchase price and an interest rate of 19.7% compounded daily. Okay, so let's set this up. And payments, future value, payments per year, compounds per year. Okay, so if he chooses A, how much money does he have to borrow on credit? Does he have to borrow $2,348?
Excuse me, interruption. Ian Adalczyk in the office, please. Ian
A furniture store credit card which is offering a $50 rebate off of the purchase price. Right, so he needs to borrow $2,298. That's the present value. Okay, what's the interest rate on that credit card? 19.7%. How much is he going to pay?
125.
125. Future value?
2348.
No. Future value is? No.
Oh yeah.
Right, we're gonna pay it off. Right? Okay, what's the payments per year? He's got what? What's he doing for payments? Monthly? So that's 12.
Compounded.
And compounded 365. So let's find out, first of all, how long it's gonna take him to pay that off.
By 2.100.
22.100. Let's also find out how much that's gonna cost him. So let's times that by 125.
$2,762.50.
Okay, so the interest paid on it then is how much?
500 and... Oh, I don't remember. Can't do that. $454.5.
Okay, so there's the interest on option number 1. So it gets a store rebate of $50. So I've knocked the price off by $50. Still paying daily interest at 19.7%. Okay? It's going to take him 22.100 months or payments in order to pay it off. It's going to cost him $464.50 in interest. So far, so good. Okay? So let's go number 2 now. And read option 2 first. Okay, so option 2, credit card which has an interest rate of 21.4% compound daily, but no interest for the first year. Okay, so no interest for the first year. How does that affect what we're doing here now?
You would have a 0 in for the interest rate.
Okay, not terrible, actually, right? We could do it that way. All right, okay, let's talk about this. Let's go back to this question. Let's go back to this question for a second. What was the first thing that I was trying to find out actually? How much what, Dylan?
You need to pay back.
How much you need to pay back, right here. That's our intended goal. Because that's the only way that I can find the amount of interest I paid on it is if I find how much I paid down on it. Does that make sense? So if that's the case then, the first thing that I want to do is I want to try and find out how much he pays back. For the first 12 months, he pays $125 each month, right? And all of that comes off of the actual price. Agreed? So he's paying $23.48, and I need 125 by 12.
1,500.
What is it, sorry?
1,500.
1,500? Okay. So far he's paid 1,500. How much does he have left owing?
1,000.
A little louder?
Yeah.
848. Okay. So we can't forget about that 1,500. So in the first year, that's how much he pays off. So now I've got to pay off the remainder of it. We got to find out how much time it takes for him to pay off the last 848. Agreed? Okay. So interest rate was what? 21.4 or 7?
4.
21.4. Present value borrowed?
800. $848.
$848. Payments still $125. Future value 0. Payments per year 12 and compounded daily, right? Okay, so now let's calculate then how many payments it's going to take to pay off $848.
8.300.
8.300.
Oh, maybe 300?
Somebody else do it other than
Yeah.
Lori, please, so we can. Mary?
Is it 7.300? Oh yeah, that's my bad.
So, what was it? 7.300.
7.30.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what do? Multiply that by 125.
$912. Decimal 487.
Decimal 4,
87. One on.
two decimal places, right? Because we're in money.
9.
4-9, perfect. Okay, so how much did it cost? $2,412.49, and the interest we paid on that was
Isn't it supposed to? Okay, let me check it again. Plus 912.49. Yeah, okay.
okay. Okay, subtract these two.
$64.49.
All right. Which was the better choice to make? Okay? Couple things to make a note of. Anytime you can get 0% financing on anything, you're going to probably pay a little bit more up front on the cost of it, but in the long run, that saves you immensely. So if you're buying a new vehicle, look for 0% financing. Okay? The actual sticker price will be more than what it would be if you could pay cash, obviously, but very few of us can pay cash for a new vehicle, so you want 0% financing. Something like this, you pay no interest for a year, gives you time to get your money in order, so that even, maybe you didn't have $2,348 at that point in time, but you might have had $848 at the end of the year if you continue to put money away for it. Take $848 divided by 12, that's not a lot each month. So as soon as you came off that 0% interest, you pay that $848, you're all squared up. You pay 0 interest, although it only cost you $64 of interest, all right, to pay it off. And how long did it take you to actually pay this guy off? How long did it take to pay that one off? 19 months, right? You paid a full year without, and then you added another 7 months to it, which is plus. So that's that. This one, it took how long? It took almost 2 years to pay off. Yeah, go ahead.
So why would a car dealership do that? Like, if they're not making money off of your interest, they're basically giving you a free.
They don't make money off the interest. That's the thing. It's their like GMC financing. They're the ones that make the money off the interest.
Okay.
Because the car dealerships themselves don't give you the loans. Their financing is given by GMC, which would be some sort of banking institution, right? So they would be the ones that would would lose the interest values on it.
So they're basically just giving you a free loan. Like they're not making anything off the loan.
I'm sure that there's a deal in there that there's a percentage that would go to them,
That they pay.
but it might not be as significant as if you were to pay that loan off. Okay? So for the car dealerships, it just looks good. Right? But it's not, it costs them nothing. They're probably making more money off the car. Because they're gonna charge you more because you're not paying any interest on the financing. So, yeah. Any other questions about financing?
Mr. Yoon,
Yes, Morgan.
the first slide, I understand how that works,
You
but
okay on this one?
the second, yeah, this one here, I understand how you got 2,348, but 15,000, I'm a little confused how that number appeared.
Okay, so Morgan, if you look at the question there, it says for option B, the credit card which has an interest rate of 21.4% compound daily, but no interest for the first year. So I'm making $125 payments
Yep.
for the first year in which there's no interest on it.
Yeah.
So all of that money is $1,500, all comes off the total that you're paying.
Okay.
So now that gets me to $848.
Yeah.
That's what you have left owing after 1 year.
Yeah.
So now I have to borrow that money from the bank.
Okay. And 912.49.
That's with interest. That's with the interest calculated in
Okay.
on the 848.
Okay. So
So
848 times 21.4.
no, I took 7.3. Well, that'd be one way to get it, but you'd have to know the amount of time. But no, I found out how many payments it would take me to pay off 848. It would take 7.300 payments.
Yeah.
I times that by 125, which is my payments, and that's how I get 912.49.
So then I'm wrong about the 2,348.
That's how much you paid. That's how much the furniture cost. That was the initial.
Oh, okay.
That's the initial part of the question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I need to eventually pay off 2,348. It's how much extra it's gonna cost me to finance it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then after that,
So I paid 1,500 in the first year.
yeah.
In the next 7 months, I had to pay another 912.49,
Mm-hmm.
which totaled 2,412 is what I paid total.
Okay.
And then I subtracted that from the actual cost of it.
Oh, I see now, yeah.
And then the difference is the interest I paid.
Okay.
So I paid $64.49 interest.
Okay.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Okay, you can finish up 2-3 today. Let's get done 2-1 to 2-3 today. And tomorrow we'll look at buy, renting, and leasing.